Magandang, Umaga. This October, I have a big event for myself. I'm going to retire. I'm also going to start the next big chapter. And that chapter is going to be one of slow travel around the world, with the first stop being the Philippines. I'm going to spend 8 months. I'm going to travel over 15 islands, over 65 hikes, and over 200 other stops in a 230-day period that I should be there. I look forward to taking you along on a journey because I have researched this trip in detail, but I also realize I don't have all the information. I look forward not only to sharing information with you, but listening to see what you have. And if you make it all the way to the end of this video, I'm definitely going to provide the sources that I thought were most valuable in my planning. So let's talk motorcycles, because I tell you what, most important decision I'm going to make in these next 8 months is what am I going to get for my ride, because if it leaves me high and dry in the jungle, it's not a good thing. So my leaderboard right now, everybody goes with Honda because the reliability in the service network. It's the ADV350, but it's not highway legal, but highway's not a big part of riding in the Philippines anyways. I like the bling of the Bristol Zontes 400G. That addition of cruise control really has my attention. But I do worry about the fact that did they fix the electrical issues they have in heavy rain. Voge, they have a great option in the SR450 because it's a 450x, because it's actually twin of the scooters. It's the only one that's really a twin out there. So that's impressing me, and it actually has pretty decent storage. So I'm definitely going to take a closer look at that. I do like the ruggedness as well of the SYM ADXTG, because that chain drive, especially for the dirt roads I'm going to be on, going to many a trailhead, could be something that's really nice. Unfortunately, we don't sell any of those in America, so please comment and let me know what your thoughts are on them. The other ones I'm looking at is going to be probably a motorcycle. That would be the NX500, and especially with the E-clutch, it's a contender now. So with that said, let me know, and I'm definitely going to have a full video when I go over the specs of these bikes and let you know probably my top 3. And when you get closer to the date, I'll probably have to get it down to 1, because like I said, this is going to be my sidekick. It's going to be my hero bike. Let's talk about route planning. My route itself is not going to be too different from what a lot of Philippine loopers do. Essentially, I'm going to head north, turn around, head south, go all the way down to GenSan, circle back up through the heart of the archipelago, and finish in Manila. Manila is going to be the base because that's where I'm going to buy the bike, that's where I'm going to outfit it, and that's where I'm going to sell it at the end of the trip. So that's a non-negotiable as far as the road is concerned. Everything else is optional. Why optional? Because things happen. For example, I have 15 ferry crossings. Sometimes schedules don't go to plan. Sometimes roads are closed. Sometimes sites I want to visit are closed. So with this said, I want to have maximum flexibility because I have 10,000 kilometers over 230 days to finish the route. I'm not in a rush. This will be a trip where you will need to get your house in order. And the reason why I say that, it's not about packing for a trip. It's about changing my life, a true pivot. So I need to decide, what am I going to do with my house? Most likely rent it. What am I going to do with my car? Absolutely sell it. What am I going to do with my furniture? Get it down to the bare minimum that I can put in a storage room. What about clothes? All those clothes that I need to get rid of, they're going to be gone. And honestly, I'm going to be spending 8 months on a motorcycle, traveling around the country. So what I take with me is going to be very little as far as packing is concerned, but it's going to be considered a lot considering how much storage space you have on a motorcycle. So I have a lot of preparation to do at this time, and again, always looking for advice. Let's talk about keeping things legal once I arrive in the Philippines. Initially, it's going to be real easy. Just got to have the e-travel card filled out correctly, and I got my 30 days to roam the country. But before 30 days, I'll need to renew that for a visa extension, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack the process. That is, I'm going to go for a 29-day extension, and then immediately after, I am going to go for the long-stay visa. After that, the next step in worry is going to be driver's license. I can drive with my local license for 90 days. If you have a motorcycle, make sure you have a motorcycle endorsement on it. But you will be able to convert that after you do your 6-month visa extension, and that then will allow me to ride and drive in the Philippines for the remainder of my trip. Overall, it's not a difficult process. talk fitness, because at 61, the biggest obstacle to me finishing this trip, it's not going to be the roads, it's not going to be geopolitics, it's going to be my body. And that is primarily due to the large number of hikes I want to do on this trip. And some of those hikes are in the insane category. So with that said, getting in shape between now and October, it's not an option, it's a requirement. But just as important is staying in shape once I'm there. So I'm going to have a simple routine, basically weight-bearing exercises with stretching daily, hit the gyms in the bigger hubs in the bigger cities for lifting heavy weights, and it's going to be hiking every 3 to 4 days. That should keep me in pretty good shape. And just as importantly, I need to schedule and rest, because as you get older, you can't just stack workouts. You need to let the body recover a little. Let's talk about connectivity. In the way I look at this trip, redundancy is going to be important. And redundancy is if one system fails, hopefully another takes over. So when it comes to my first level as far as connectivity, it's going to be my phones. I'm going to be carrying 3 of them. I'm going to have one phone that's going to be locked in my hotel safe most of the time. It's going to be there for OTP codes or for banking information. I'll have a second burner phone that I'm going to use when I walk around the big cities like Manila, not to bring attention to myself. And if I lose it, I lose it. It's not a big deal. And then I'm going to have my primary phone, which is also going to act as my camera in the field and also my day-to-day communication. So if any one of those fails, I can always quickly switch and pivot to another device. I'm going to be using, and then the next thing I'm going to be looking at is downloading data such as Google Maps ahead of time. So if I lose connectivity, I can still navigate from point A to point B. Overall, you got to be prepared because things will fail. Unfortunately, I know this firsthand. Now, let's talk about packing. This trip's going to be 1 motorcycle, 8 months. It's going to be a hiking trip as well as a riding trip. I'm going to have varied gear, and I'm going to have gear discipline, because I do not want to look like an overloaded pack mule riding down the road. So for me, the absolute minimum that I can get away with is what I'm taking. Essentially, if there's not a need, the item's not getting on the motorcycle. And I'll have the rule of, in case I need something, I can always buy it when I'm over there. But the main thing is be disciplined, what I take, and be minimalistic. Let's talk about safety and health. Why? Because as a Stoic, safety is a pre-mortem. Basically, first thing I'm going to look at is routes and where it's too dangerous. And this is going to be applied to the island of Mindanao. There's the red zone. I'm going to, for the most part, just skirt around that, not spend a lot of time there. Definitely always keep track of travel advisories. Then the next item is make sure you have a good travel insurance plan that has evac out of the country if it's needed. Another thing, I will be traveling with a complete medical first aid kit. And the reason why is I'll be in some remote areas. And if you're in a remote area, time to a hospital might be measured in hours. Hence, you're going to be your own first responder in those situations. And lastly, the comment for the roads. Driving on Philippine roads, if you're used to the West, are somewhat chaotic. You have cars that don't have lane discipline, trucks that own the road, you have to avoid them. And honestly, accidents happen all the time. When I was there most recently, I actually passed a motorcycle that was hit by a car, and it was a fatality. So it's very real. So my advice that I'm going to follow myself is make sure I have the proper gear when riding and make yourself visible and ride defensively. Let's talk community, because when you're traveling alone, meeting people is part of the trip. Even though I'm an INTJ and solitude is my super weapon, too much of it, well, that is actually a risk. So what I'm going to be looking for as I travel around the islands is the different riding groups, different hiking groups in the areas I'm visiting, because that's where the real stories lie. What I'm going to avoid is hanging out with expats and expat bars. 1, because I'm not a drinker. 2, because if that's what I want, why leave my country? So definitely looking for a sense of community, and that's why I'm also learning a little Filipino language or Tagalog, and we will see, or let's see if I get it right, Nag-aaral Tagalog. So at this point, I am 6 months away from my go date. I have my ticket purchased. I'm coming. This adventure is going to start. I hope to take you guys along with me, but I also hope that you guys comment and actually give advice, because again, data that you learn from the internet is not always true when you have boots on the ground. So I look forward to interacting with you, and hopefully we'll meet in the future. You just never know. But if you made it all the way to the end, you deserve a big Salamat po.